guys. Hope you're having a good one today. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. All this love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. This love that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. Oh, this soul that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, no, this soul that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this soul that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. One more time. Oh, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. No, 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 this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. Oh, this joy that I have, the world didn't give it to me. The world didn't give it, and the world can't take it away. take it away.
That is the incomparable Jimmy Eads. Thank you, Jimmy. Good morning and welcome to New Thought Northern Colorado Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Amber Davidson and I am a prayer practitioner here at NTNC. Good morning. We gather together from the comfort of our homes to express love, to practice radical acceptance and inclusion, and to connect with one another and with spirit, because we are a powerful spiritual community, lovingly committed to a world of acceptance, compassion, peace, and joy. So if you feel comfortable, to settle back and close your eyes if you'd like for our opening prayer. To take this time to remember that we are all divine expressions of love. That unlimited love of spirit, that peace, the warmth and light that is in everyone and in everything, and that unlimited good that is always present. And how delightful to remember that we are all connected to that, to all of that, to each other, and to that warmth and light and love, that we are the expressions of that moving through the world. And I am so grateful for each and every one of us who comes together in this moment, at this time in this service. I'm grateful for the message and our ministers, for the music and the practitioners, and for the technical support. And as always, for everyone watching, that all make up this divine family, our heart tribe. And with that deep sense of gratitude for all that unfolds today, I know that it is already so. And if you'd like to join me in affirming that, you can say with me, and so it is.
Today and every day I'm gonna dwell upon the good. Today and every day I'm gonna dwell upon the light. Today and every day I'm gonna dwell upon the peace. Today I'm finding gratitude for all that's right. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. So let's dwell upon the good. Today and every day I'm gonna dwell upon the love. Today and every day I'm gonna dwell upon the grace. Today and every day I'm gonna dwell upon the joy. Today I'm seeing God in each and every face. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. So let's dwell upon the good. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. What we dwell upon, we become. So let's dwell upon the good. Oh, let's dwell upon the good. Oh, let's dwell upon the good.
my gosh. Thank you, Jimmy. Always thank you, thank you, thank you. Good morning, everybody. Let's just take that moment that we take together and harmonize our hearts and our minds by touching your heart, taking 3 big deep breaths, and saying out loud with me, care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. Care, appreciation, gratitude, compassion. So I'm Reverend Barbara, if we haven't met, and it is my absolute honor and pleasure to come to you this morning with a bit of a message. We're on this journey of exploration this month regarding emotions, and I was assigned happy, which seems easy. I pondered it for some days this week, asking that question, am I happy? And are we happy? And is the world happy? And what is happy anyway? And, I asked Reverend Jenny, what makes you happy? And she started to list some things, and I started to list some things, and I realized that we were in this place of discussing happy as an outside question, and what I kept coming back to is, isn't happy supposed to be an inside job and not something that is about what's happening on that day on the outside? And therefore our unhappy also becomes about what's happening on the outside and not a base of happy to begin from. And then I was reminded of a story. It's a little bit longer of a story than I usually tell when I speak, but I love this story, and it's from the book Illusions by Richard Bach, which is a book I just have to say that I go back to over and over time. And it's one of those books that every time you pick it up, like it's something different stands out. So this time I'm going to tell the story, but I ungendered it a bit. So I want you to imagine that this character, this master, who I called B for short, is you. And the story goes like this. There was a master, let's call them B for short, come onto the earth, born in the holy land of Indiana, raised in the mystical hills of Fort Wayne. B learned of this world in the public schools of Indiana, and as they grew in their trade as a mechanic of automobiles. But B had learnings from other lands and other schools, from other lives that they had lived. They remembered these, and remembering became wise and strong, so that others saw their strength and came to them for counsel. B believed that they had the power to keep themselves and all humankind, to help themselves and all humankind. And as they believed, so it was for them, so that others saw their power and came to them to be healed of their troubles and of their many diseases. B believed that it is well for any person to think upon themselves as a child of God, and as they believed, so it was. And the shops and garages where they worked became crowded and jammed with those who sought their learning and their touch. So did the streets outside with those who longed only that the shadow of B's passing might fall upon them and change their lives. And it came to pass, because of the crowds, that several foremen and shop managers bid B leave the tools and go another way, for so tightly they were thronged that neither they nor the other mechanics had room to work upon the automobiles. So it was that they went into the countryside, and people following them began to call them Messiah and the worker of miracles. And as they believed, it was so. There's a lot to unpack in that one. As they believed, it was so. But B spoke to them in parables. And when they said unto the people, within each of us lies the power of our consent to health and to sickness, to riches and to poverty, to freedom and to slavery, it is we who control these and not another. And a mill worker spoke and said, easy for you, B, for you are guided as we are not, and need not toil as we toil. A person has to work for a living in this world. B answered and said, once there lived a village of creatures along the bottom of a great crystal river. The current of the river swept silently over them all, young and old, rich and poor, good and evil, the current going its own way, knowing only its own crystal self. Each creature in its own manner clung tightly to the twigs and rocks of the river bottom, for clinging was their way of life, and resisting the current what they had learned from birth. One creature said at last, I am tired of clinging. Though I cannot see it with my eyes, I trust that the current knows where it is going. I shall let go and let it take me where it will. Clinging, I shall die of boredom. The other creatures laughed and said, Fool, let go, and that current you worship will throw you tumbled and smashed on the rocks, and you will die quicker than from a boredom. But this one heeded them not, and taking a breath did let go, and at once was tumbled and smashed by the current amongst the rocks. Yet in time, as the creature refused to cling again, the current lifted the one free from the bottom, and the creature was bruised and hurt no more. And the creatures downstream, to whom she was a stranger, cried, See, a miracle, a creature like ourselves, yet they fly. See the Messiah come to save us all. And the one carried in the current said, I am no more Messiah than you. The river delights to lift us free, if only we dare to let go. Our true work is in this voyage, in this adventure. And they cried out the more, Savior, all the while clinging to the rocks. And when they looked again, she was gone, and they were left alone, making legends of a Savior. Now B saw that the multitude thronged them more day over day, tighter and closer and fiercer than they ever had. When B saw the crowd pressing them to heal without rest and to feed them always with B's miracles, to learn for them and to live their lives, B went alone that day into the hilltop apart and prayed. And they said in their heart, Infinite, radiant is. If it be thy will, let this cup pass from me. Let me lay aside this impossible task. I cannot live the life of one other soul, yet 10,000 cry to me for life. I'm sorry I allowed it to happen. If it be thy will, let me go back to my engines and my tools, and let me live as other humans. And the voice spoke to them on the hilltop, a voice neither male nor female, loud nor soft, a voice infinitely kind. And the voice said unto them, Not my will, but thine be done. For what is thy will is mine for thee. Go thy way as other people, and be thou happy upon the earth. In hearing this, B was glad and gave thanks and came down from the hilltop, humming a little mechanic's song. And when the crowd pressed with its woes, beseeching them to heal for it and to learn for it and to feed it nonstop from their lack of understanding and to entertain it with their wonders, they smiled upon the multitude and said pleasantly unto them, I quit. For a moment, the multitude was stricken dumb with astonishment and silence. And they said unto the crowd, If a person told God that they wanted most of all to help the suffering world, no matter what the price to themselves, and God answered and told them what they must do, should the person do as they are told? Of course, B, cried the many, it would be a pleasure for them to suffer the tortures of hell itself, should God ask for it. No matter what those tortures or how difficult the task. Honor to be hanged, glory to be nailed to a tree and burned, and be that God has asked, said they. And what would you do, B said unto the multitude, if God spoke directly to your face and said, I command that you be happy in the world as long as you live? What would you do then? The multitude was silent. Not a voice, not a sound was heard upon the hillsides, upon the valleys where they stood. And B said unto the silence, In the path of our happiness shall we find the learning for which we have chosen this lifetime. In the path of our happiness shall we find the learning for which we have chosen this lifetime. So it is that I have learned this day and choose to leave you now to walk your own path as you please. And B went their way through the crowds and left them and returned to the everyday world of people and machines. In the path of our happiness shall we find the learning for which we have chosen this lifetime. Now, interestingly, what I realized in this is that, seeking happiness for happiness' sake actually rarely seems to work. We end up chasing something that we are not believing that we already have. And then we don't, and when we don't believe we have something, in fact, we do not leave ourselves open to the experience of it. And we end up in something of a closed loop of I'm chasing happiness because I don't believe I have happiness. And so I don't recognize my happiness and I shut down my happiness and then I'm chasing my happiness. But as we seek to serve others, we lean into our longings and our desire to create something better in the world. We get focused on something that's larger than ourselves. And suddenly, in the fulfillment of that calling, we wake up and we realize that we are happy. Now, someone recently suggested on Facebook, which is, of course, the second font of all knowledge, they wrote, when you make peace with the fact that the purpose of life is not happiness, but rather experience and growth, happiness comes as a natural byproduct. When you are not seeking it as the objective, it will find its way to you. Made me think of love and relationship. When you focus on living a life you love and feel fulfilled, suddenly love finds you. Happiness finds you. Peace and contentment find you. What I realize is it's in the switch between seeking fulfillment, understanding, and growth and personal growth and also wanting the world to grow, but then shifting to a place where we're carrying that for others, or we're trying to be something for them rather than with them. We're going to heal the world. We're not going to heal with the, there's a very interesting distinction between healing with the world and trying to heal the world. I think we have to heal with it because there's always something to be healed within us. And as we are healing, we find our own peace and our own happiness, and we recognize peace and happiness within others, and they recognize it within us, but they are not dependent on us for theirs. The understanding that you are wholly beautiful and loved and complete as you are right now frees all of us to feel our worth and our value, and to know that we are here to express the divine in, through, and as us. And suddenly happiness just becomes the state of beingness and not some mountain that we have to climb. In the path of our happiness shall we find the learning for which we have chosen this lifetime. Maybe my learning is that I don't have to climb so hard to find happiness. I can find happiness right here where I am. What's yours? What is your learning? What is it that you are longing and leaning into? And I think these are our questions of the day. And I'm going to take this one right from the book. If God spoke directly to your face and said, I command that you be happy in the world as long as you live, what would you do then? And in the context of this lesson today, the question, what would you do then, is the one. What is the yearning? It is not what would make you happy. It is what would you do if you wanted to be happy? What is the yearning upon your soul that has you want to unravel the trappings you may have surrounded yourself in, and to give your gifts to the world, with the world, not on top of them? And I go back to this one little creature. The one creature said at last, I'm tired of clinging. Though I cannot see it with my eyes, I trust that the current knows where it is going. I shall let go and let it take me where it will. Clinging, I shall die of boredom. Are you ready? Are you ready? Speak your word and know that the power and presence that you are, you, the Messiah of your own life, have all the permission in the universe to fulfill the longing of your soul and to find your path of happiness. And it's all kind of simple, don't you think? It's so simple, in fact, that I'm just going to ask who wants prayer, and let this be today. And so I ask you to take that deep breath moment, that moment of allowing, and that moment of allowing your prayer to come through my prayer, to circle around this beautiful universe as we connect across time and space, knowing that the words that we hold and speak and command are answered upon right here and right now. And so this day, as I connect with that power and presence that is greater than I, this energy, this life force that moves through each and every one of us. And as I feel that life force encompass all of us together, I simply know the simple truth of things, that this is a beautiful universe of change and growth and expansion. That all these things which feel so heavy, they will pass. That in this moment, we hold arms of grace and love and compassion around all of the people who have been impacted by violence in this day, in this week, in this month. We know absolutely and command absolutely that peace become the prevailing way of being and thinking and living and breathing, that love lights the way and grants us the grace to be kind and compassionate human beings on this earth. That in the way of kindness and compassion and love lies all of our happiness. And my desire, our want of happiness for others increases our ability to hold happiness for ourselves. Our desire and willingness to share our love, our resources, our kindness, our hearts, our minds, all of it increases what is out there and available and returns to us. And that will save this world. And so today I give thanks for being surrounded by people who are on this journey with me. For together I know that we lift up the light of truth, the light of wholeness, the light of love. And I know that when we lift together, it is not heavy and it is not a hill to climb. It's just there to do. And I breathe into that and know that it is good, it is enough. I hold a space in my imagining, in the creation of this world in my mind. I hold a space that peace is possible today. And I allow room for the universe, for spirit itself to absolutely surprise and delight me with its answer to all of our prayers. I lift all of us this day, in this moment, and I ask you to lift with me by saying, and so it is.
I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up. I am the place where God lives, moves and breathes and has its being. I am the place where God shows up.
Thank you all for listening to my words this morning. We are supported entirely by the generosity of this community, and there are many ways that you can contribute and give. They will be in the chat for you, using our phone number. We try to make the giving part easy. But in that, I'd like to ask you to put your hand over your heart and lift with me by repeating after me. Spirit's abundance flows through me, and therefore joyfully I share all of my good. Hey, Amber. Amber's available for prayer after service, I believe. Are you not? Excellent. So we're done. You have the benediction, my dear.
May you be at peace. May your heart remain open. May you awaken to the light of your own true nature. May you be healed. May you be a source of healing for all beings. Thank you for being here, and know that you are loved.
Know that you are loved, all of you.
Spirit, know my name. Call me home and light these darkened days. Oh, Spirit, show your truth in all